Hello again, welcome back. We're going to continue talking about JavaScript and dates with the goal of writing our own date library. In the previous video, we discussed, what a date is, how JavaScript handles dates, and we looked a little bit at the date object, how to initialize a date object, and then kind of what the date object is internally, which is a number basically, right? Okay, it's got some methods on it too, but the date itself is held as a numeric value, right? And we can see here that the date looks like this, just a big integer, right? And we did a little math with it, right? So we calculated the number of years since 1970. I calculated it the first time in this way, where I took the date, divided by 1,000, divided by 60, 60, and 24. So we got the seconds, minutes, hours, days, and years, right? Another way we could look at that is we could divide the date by 86,400 to get the number of seconds. And since this is actually milliseconds, we'll divide by 1,000. Actually, maybe it would be better if I wrote it like that, right? So divide the milliseconds down to seconds, and then divide by the number of seconds in a day, and then divide by the years. And you can see here I get the same number, okay? So let's talk about your age. How would you calculate your age as a date? Okay, so one of the things about the date object is if we saw up here that we could get today by just saying new date. So we'd get today, like right now, this moment, okay? Right, because it would include the seconds, milliseconds, hours, right? Okay. If you want to create a date at any particular point in time, you can type in your birthday, right, or any date you want. And JavaScript is pretty smart. The date object is pretty clever. If you put any, like almost any human readable date, it can usually parse that into a valid date object. Not always, but usually pretty much. I have pretty good luck with this. It's pretty smart, okay? And you can look up all the valid formats that it uses, right? So it's better, rather than learning the formats, it's just good to know that it can work with just about any valid format, okay? So my birthday is September 26, 1965. You could also write this as 9/26, 1965, and that would work also. Let's give it a try, right? So there we go. There's my age in milliseconds, right? Actually, and just for fun, I'm going to do this. I'm going to console log. I'm going to do the same thing I did up here where I did get time, okay? So I'm going to take my birthday and do get time on it, right? And then we'll console log it. It should be right underneath age, right? So it'll happen right before this line. And you can see that my birthday is a negative number, right? And that's because my birthday happens before 1970. So if you were born on, January 1st, 1970, your date would essentially be 0, right? So you'd be the 0 time. That's the Unix epoch, right? So, so we can see that we can also represent dates that have a negative value, right? So here's my age right there in milliseconds, right? So the challenge here is to calculate your age in seconds, minutes, hours, days, and years, okay? So you can, if you haven't done this yet, you can stop the video and try it on your own. Otherwise, I'll walk through the solution. Okay, so first of all, let's calculate our age as milliseconds. So I'll take age, right? Because, oh yeah, let me point out too, maybe I forgot to mention this. If I took today and then subtracted my birthday from it, that's going to give me my age. It's the difference between two date objects. And really, it's the difference between two numbers. So today is this number, and if I subtract this other number from it, I get the difference, right? And remember, we saw earlier that if you take two date objects, so these are date objects, right, and you try to do some math with them, then JavaScript treats the date like a number, right? And it just gives you the millisecond value, okay? So that's how I calculated the age. So I took today, subtracted my birthday, right? Because today is going to be a larger number because as we go in the future, we're just adding milliseconds. And if I subtract my birthday, which happened a while ago, so it should be a smaller number of milliseconds, then I get the difference, right? And then the difference is your age. So if I take the age here and then I say, okay, well, let's divide the age by 1,000, and that should give me the number of seconds, okay? Let's do age seconds, right? And then let's calculate minutes. So we'll divide by 1,000 to get the number of seconds, and then divide by 60 to get the minutes. Right? And then we'll do console.log, and we'll take the age and divide it by 1,000, divide by 60, divide by 60 again to get the number of hours. Right? And let's say console.log. Actually, I'll just copy this, right? It'll be faster. So we'll copy this one, and we'll do age, divide by 60. Let's divide by 24 to get the days. And then we can divide by, I guess I said days and years, so let's divide by 24 again, and then divide by 365, and then every year is actually 365.25 because a year is, because of the leap year, right? Because a year is actually a little fraction longer than 365. Okay, so let's give that a try and see what happens here. I'm going to console log, and you can see my age in milliseconds, my age in seconds, my age in minutes, age in hours, age in days. I'm 20,214 days, and I'm 55 years old. Oops, I put hours here. This should be years. There we go, right? So actually, that looks pretty accurate. So I guess I'm 55 and a third, which I think is pretty accurate. Okay, so let's go on to the next problem, right? So you can also initialize a date with a year, month, date, hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. So that means that when you create a date object, you can create it this way. You can say the year, comma, the month, comma, and the day, comma, or date, comma, okay? And then you could also include the hours. So you can say 23 hours, 42 minutes, and 13 seconds, and 657 or 567 milliseconds, okay? So in this case, we're using multiple parameters, and each parameter is a number, okay? Over here, we initialized a date with a string, and we said, we just kind of described the date in a human readable way, okay? So we just said it like you and I would write it, okay? So it's totally okay for us to write a date that looks like this. So for example, if I wanted to find January 1st, 2022, like I want to know what is New Year's, like I'm trying to calculate when New Year's is going to occur, okay? I can generate a new date that is New Year's. Let me clear the console there, and we can see 2022, month is 0, date is 1. Okay, so what does that mean, right? The month is calculated as 0 index, so January is the first month, okay? The date is the calendar date. So that's actually calculated with a 1 index, right? Because the first date on any calendar is a 1. So that can be a little confusing with dates, but the month is always, January is 0. It's always 0 indexed, okay? So that means that if you want to show the month, and you can see here I've got New Year get month, right? So New Year is the year that we calculated, the date that we calculated, that is the New Year's for 2022. And if you want to get the month from that, if I say console log, let's do New Year dot get month, and then I say I'll call it New Year month index. If I run this in the console, you can see the New Year month index is 0. Okay, but if I want to convert that into the spelled out month, the date object doesn't have like a super easy way to do that. It does have a date formatter, but you have to do a lot of work. So if we just want to just get the month really quickly, we don't actually have a function to do that. So that's one of the things we're going to add to our library, right? But for us to do that, what we need to do is we need to have an array of months, and you can see I've written that out here, and January is the first month, and so the index for January is 0. So that means that if I take the months array here and I use the square brackets and I put newyear.getMonth, right? GetMonth is going to return the index of the month. It's going to return the numeric value 0, right? And then I can use that to access the string January, right? And then that prints out Jan right here, okay? So let's show the month of your birthday. So you can try this challenge on your own. Otherwise, and you can stop the video. Otherwise, I'll continue and do it right here. Okay, so we'll start with console log because we want to see it. And what we'll do is we'll say birthday dot get month, and this would return the index of my month, which should be 8, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it in the square brackets, and then I'll say like, hey, why don't we get the month, the spelled out month, from the months array, and then let's put a comment here. We'll say birthday month. And then we can give that a try in the console. Let's see. Oh, we got birthday month right here. Okay. September. Nice. Okay. So let's move on, right? So day of the week is the same way. Now the day of the week is different than the calendar date. So the day of the week is a number from 0 for Sunday and 6 for Saturday, but the date is like the 23rd, right, or the 31st, or the 2nd, right? So don't confuse the date with the day. So if we use get day, right? Actually, maybe I should put a comment in here. Date.get day. JavaScript will give us the index of the day, 0 being Sunday. Okay. So if you want to get the day of your birthday, you can say console.log, and then we can say days bracket, and then birthday dot get day, and then try it out in the console. Actually, let's put a comment in here, right? Birthday day. There we go, right? So you can calculate what day your birthday is going to be on next year. Let's give it a try. So we'll clear the console and run the code again, and we can see my birthday is going to be on a Sunday. Okay, I'm not sure. It sounds right. Yeah, it's a good day for birthday, right? Okay, so now there's a few more problems. I'll continue those in the next video, but you can try these. Go ahead and give these a try and go through them, and then otherwise I'll cover them too. Okay, thanks for watching.